Hello there and welcome to the Freelance Thrive Podcast's 8th-season summary. My name is Yuri, I'm a community builder at CodeControl9am.works, and today I'll share with you 10 things you can learn from 10 podcast guests in less than 10 minutes. So let's go! If you struggle with landing freelance jobs with our platforms and social media, here is what Patrick Rosnagel has for you.
Getting to that stage where you actually have someone on the phone, that's the hardest part. So if I see a project, then I apply through the platform, I write an email, I try to call them, I find them on LinkedIn or I find them somewhere else, and I just go through every single channel that I have, just popping up everywhere. If nothing comes out of it, then so be it. But sitting there and waiting it out is not going to land you projects in the end.
Also, nowadays, there are a lot of AI recruiting tools that screen applications. So here is important advice from Nadia Harris that will help you get through to an actual human.
Some people that I know worked, for example, in an agency, and because of the agency, they worked within multiple industries, but AI won't catch it. So then I would make it even more evident, kind of like listing the industries in addition to that, right? Not just, oh, it's obvious that I work with an agency. You go check the agency's website, you'll see in what industry this agency specializes. No. AI isn't that smart at this stage. Recruiters aren't either, so sometimes you just really have to put it there.
When you finally get to a conversation, you need to stand out. And here is one of the things people are usually shy about that can help you that Maya Nanado-Webster talks about.
As soon as you start sharing publicly your values and expressing them, you start attracting the right type of people. And the same goes with clients. You're immediately gonna get their attention. If we take, for example, a copywriter who's charging lower and the other one who's doing equally work but is charging a bit more because it's donating, that person will immediately stand out. And another reason why we shouldn't be shy about talking good things that we're doing, because you can really stand out.
At some point, you'll talk about the rates, and the more experienced you are, the higher the rate you should negotiate. And here is Lizzie Davey explains why.
If we're talking about the rates I charged at the start and the rates I'm charging now, like obviously there's a ton of experience. I know more about client challenges, so I can speak to those, which obviously makes you more valuable. But then also that still comes with the higher rate because I've taken the time to get this experience, to learn their brand, to understand their audience. Like it's better value for them as well to charge my higher rates because they get a freelancer who knows what they want and can deliver something that's published ready every time.
If you get a client once, it's good. But here is what Sam Kim reminds you to always keep in mind.
There's no business if there's no input in terms of how do you get clients, right? So if I were to start an agency, it would be kind of nailing down, how do I make sure I can get clients recurring when I want them? How do I have control over the influx of work so I can actually scale this to however I want?
And to get those recurring clients, you have to be visible. And here is what Joel Sousa proposes you to do for that.
It's not just posting and closing the app, it's posting, engaging with other people, talking to other people, networking. That's how you get things. That's how you build relationships. That's how things happen. And I usually say it's almost a 50-50 game. If you spend 2 hours on a post, you should spend 2 hours on that same social media talking to other people. It's talking to other people and starting conversations and talking to other people.
Yes. Reading posts of other people and adding meaningful comments may be time-consuming. But here is the bright side Anna Burgess-Young talk about.
My LinkedIn content is coming from comments that I leave on other people's LinkedIn posts. So I wake up, I engage with other people on LinkedIn. That improves my own visibility, so people do see me. But then I'm harvesting those things, those little comments. And if they're good or I think I can expand on them, I turn them into my own LinkedIn posts.
Okay. Are comments and posts enough? Not really. Here is what Patrick Garten has for you.
Most people think it's enough to click the button on LinkedIn, connecting, it's done. Okay, fine. And it's not. Go out, go to different business networks, to events and so on and talk with the people. If I see someone connected with me, I send after a few days latest short text to this person and say, hey, what you do, let's talk 30 minutes in a digital coffee. And then I make this regular. So go out and talk with the people. That's the most important thing.
But what happens next after the first conversation? Rachel Rosen will tell you what is one important thing people miss afterward.
One of the things that people really struggle with is the follow-up. I think that is really the key to being a good networker. Are you following up post a conversation? And where people struggle is you often hear you need to follow up within 24 to 48 hours. And I'm a huge proponent for that as well. But you know what? Life gets in the way. And sometimes you can't do that. So it doesn't matter how long the time is, still follow up with them, still reconnect with them. When we stop reconnecting, that's when we're losing the opportunity to continue to build those relationships.
However, the bigger your network becomes, the more it takes to maintain those connections, and sometimes you may find yourself answering someone at midnight after a hard working day and just not being able to stop. So here is a thing from Gracia Rovelli for you to think about.
How about we also think ourselves as our own managers? How would you treat an employee? Or if you do have employees, how do you treat them? Do you expect them to stay at work and writing Slack messages at 11 p.m.? And what permissions do you need to give yourself to start being a good boss of yourself?
And just like that, these were 10 things you can learn from 10 freelancers in less than 10 minutes. And what have you learned? Share it in the comments here or on LinkedIn or whenever, and let's connect. If you learned something new, share this episode with your friend. That's it. I'm done. See you in the next episode.